So we'll be discussing today about how to plan for, how to prepare the for the next, let's say, around 4.5 to 5 months till December or mid-January. What should be the preparation strategy till then? We'll be mostly focusing on that. So maybe we'll go in detail. So first, before that, what I would like to ask is, so please let us know what is the level of preparation. Are you guys, classes are still going on or most of the classes are done? What is the level of preparation? Your basics?
2026. Okay.
This year batch 20 basics, right?
This
Why
month
did
the
you
batch.
guys come here? Okay, to just in general use. Okay, fine.
Okay.
But others, most of you are from last year batches, right? Okay. So ethics is done, ethics going on. Okay, fine. 1 second.
So see, the idea is very simple. The main objective of this session is the following: 4-pillar approach. Simple. First, to help you out to make a roadmap from today till something called as January. First thing, in this roadmap, how you are going to prepare for the mains specifically. Third, how you are going to make the notes. Fourth, how and when to join the test series. They are the 4 major things that we are going to discuss, especially for the students who have done with the OGP classes. Now, in the last OGP, let that be 2025, 2024 or ongoing 2026, the major focus will be on the students, especially on 2025 and 2024. 2026 का batches अभी शुरू हुआ है. For example, in that also those OGP classes का students, these are the 3 categories of the students. First, the students who have just completed the foundation course. Now their course is completed. There are second category of the students who generally along with the classes also see the previous year questions and also do regular answer writing practice. There is a third category of the students who have done the classes of the OGP, have written all the major regular tests, weekly tests, plus they are also done with the current affairs. So, if these are the 3 categories of the students, especially of the same OGP batches, we want to know what is the level of the preparation that you have done till date. So, depending upon that, we can make a roadmap which can help you till December, because the reason is very simple. Today is 20th of July, right? From 20th of July till 1st of January, you are hardly left with 145 days to be precise, right? 145 days is nothing but 1450 hours of study. So, in this 1400 hours, you have to complete something called as your mains optional answer writing revision. So, how these things can go together all in this upcoming 4 months, we can tell you much more effective way considering your doubts and what is your level of preparation. Depending upon that, we can customize the things, and depending upon that, what is the best thing which can be done in the interest of the students, we can do it. So, that is why we came here to discuss. This is the major objective of this session. I hope you got it.
Fine. So I think you would have understood why we have come here. So first point, please let me know. So any mains related topics which is still pending. So okay, first I'll ask you. For example, governance is done. Okay, I think for few batches it's done. Few other it's still left. What about social justice? Not yet. Ethics? For few batches it is going on. For few batches not yet started. Okay, fine. Internal security? Fine. So that means mains related topics are still pending, but basics everything is done. Right from polity, economy to geography, environment, I think those are all is done. Correct? Okay, fine. So then we need to assume that, let us say only basics are done. Then based on that, how should you prepare for mains? We'll focus on that because few mains topics might be done, few mains topics might not be done. We'll keep that aside. Overall, we'll discuss so that you will get an idea. Fine? Okay, so So
these are the topics that are yet to be done. So now what is done? Try to understand the students. In the OGP classes, in your OGP classes, especially in the foundation course, what you have studied is both mains cum prelims preparation. But if you have not made basically something called as mains specific notes, mains specific, you should be having each syllabus word, each topic and subtopic ka something called as notes with you.
Please keep noting it down. Don't just sit. because
subtopics
this
notes,
session
right?
should make sure that what is your roadmap for the next 5 months. As was Ashish sir was telling, you can assume it as till December means let's say 150 days. 150 days, what should be the strategy? Because remember, don't be in a kind of a, what do you call as this, assumption or something that a real preparation will start from January. Actually, a real preparation has to start from now. Whatever you have the, like let's say around 1 year, whatever GS classes, OGP classes you have attended is actually the real foundation, agreed. But the real mains foundation has to be in this 5 months, because the level of preparation that you will put in these 5 months will determine to what extent you will be ready for your first mains when you write in 2026. I assume, okay, most of you, or maybe at least few of you, might have given 2025 attempt also. But obviously, based on the attempt, you would have realized that, okay, I've just done the classes. I mean, my revision is still not up to the mark. All those things you would have already realized. Maybe you had revised, maybe you had not given too many mock tests. So that's why your score might have been in 60s to 70s to 80s, depending on your level of preparation. So, but these 5 months, make sure that you dedicate exclusively for mains, because from January, anyhow, you are going to prepare for again which one? Prelims is obviously there anyhow, January or at least January mid or whenever UPSC notification comes, obviously you'll prepare. 4 months minimum you'll put for prelims from January to May. Even now, if you focus only on prelims, then when are you going to put the effort on mains then? Because the real game is where? Like your marks, everything is depend on what? Your rank, everything is depend on mains. We are not saying prelims has to be neglected, but the prelims is from January to May, anyhow you have. But even here you can integrate with prelims. We'll discuss that overall.
So as what sir rightly said, so these are the four major points, especially that you should keep in the mind. One, from now, that is from July, mid of July till December, what you have to do, each and every word of the syllabus, each and every point of the syllabus, you should be having main specific notes. Now, the first greatest mistake with respect to notes, as sir was earlier discussing when we were coming before the class, that people misunderstand Politica Circa notes of the prelims as the same notes for the mains. Am I right, sir?
Yeah. So, okay, just to clarify for that. So, obviously, Ashish sir will clarify on environment and other subjects. So, for polity, for let us say our exam, assuming most of you would have attended polity classes. So, obviously, let us say you have whatever number of pages of notes, right, from your basic making of constitution to preamble to end. But remember, when you had attended your OGP classes, the assumption is what? You guys are starting at that point. So that means what? I should tell you what is Lok Sabha, what is Rajya Sabha, what is constitution, what is constitutionalism. Imagine how many basics would have done, what is democracy. Even simplest things also we try to clarify, because the reason is what? You would have started your basics that time. I can't directly tell you critically analyze anti-defection law, how the effectiveness of parliament is declining, how Rajya Sabha's effectiveness, we can't discuss that, which is for obvious reason. So that's why normally, I mean, the overall what you can take is whatever from, let's say from polity perspective, I'm telling you, OGP class notes, 2/3 will be largely prelims. Of course, we discuss few mains topics also, you might have seen that. We also discuss, for example, so many mains topics we discuss there. But 2/3 or 70% is your prelims notes. So only 1/3 or let's say 30% is your mains notes, because as I told, the reason is what? You guys will be in different stage at that moment. I can't directly discuss analysis part because we need to discuss a lot of basics part. But I would have told you, okay, note down this question, delimitation, you note down, election commission, you note down, so many things. Few topics I would have discussed. But now when you want to do a main specific notes, what you have to do? Only that mains part you have to note down separately. For example, just to tell, let's say parliament chapter you have. You go open, even now you're like, even Lakshmikant also you open, or you open your class notes also, OGP class note. So many things will be there. But when you make mains notes of parliament, 7-8 topics are there, only that should be there. Like what? Parliamentary committees, delimitation, let's say effectiveness of Rajya Sabha, effectiveness of parliament, parliamentary reforms, anti-defection law, or speaker related 1 or 2 question. That's it. You need not have which one? What is the strength of Lok Sabha? What is the strength of Rajya Sabha? Well, who will ask? If you have seen mains PYQs by now, nobody will ask you what is strength of Lok Sabha. Why will they ask? Or how is Lok Sabha election conducted? Why will they ask?
Correct.
If you have cleared prelims and come to mains, that means what are they assuming? Very basics you already know. They need not ask you like how they ask in prelims, like how the election. Why will they ask that in mains? You have already cleared that phase. We are in mains now. Only larger part only they'll ask.
Correct.
when you write parliament related mains notes, only the 7 to 10 topics should be there. You don't have to do so many else. Like fundamental rights, you will recall right from your basics to article to everything we discuss. But when you look at your fundamental rights related mains question, there are some major areas. Article 21, right to privacy. Last year, if you have seen DNA testing, so something like that only they'll ask, or freedom of speech and expression. Some major, some 5-6 areas are there. DPSP, fundamental rights relation. That only you need to note down. What is Article 12 state? Everything if you note down, it will become another prelims notes then.
Correct.
So when you do mains note, it has to be a little different. Same way, Ashish sir will tell you about other subjects also.
So for example, sir, to add about economy, right? So in economy, everyone have recently studied for the prelims, right? For example, monetary policy, fiscal policy, inflation. In inflation, what you studied? Two types of inflation: demand pull, cost push. Types of inflation: CPI, WPI, वगैरह. What is the weightages? Who publishes, right? All these things are very much essential for the prelims. If inflation is high, what are the following steps, measures should be taken? 1, 2, 3. This is what is the MCQ. But in UPSC mains, such questions will never be asked. What will be asked? The questions about, first of all, you should know the syllabus, the most important thing. In GS paper 3, whatever you are having about the economy syllabus is as follows: Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of the resources, economic growth and development. So how will they link the question? To achieve the so-called as economic growth, there is something called as labor productivity. How you can link labor productivity with the developmental aspect, and you have to write an answer 150 words. Getting the point? How is the infrastructure development linked to something called as the growth? Getting the point? Or with respect to inclusive growth can be linked to financial policy, monetary policy, etc. Matlab, the question will be asked in an interlinked manner with lot of, I would say lot of analysis. So where you have to analyze the issue and then write the issue. So this point which the sir were focusing about, you should be having notes about the mains, each and every point in the syllabus. But what we have seen in our experience is that people misunderstand the notes, which the notes are definitely mains cum prelims, but still mains you need more specific, more analytical based issue wise notes are needed. So that should not be basically considered the prelims ka notes same as the mains. You should have the mains specific notes. This is the first point. Second point, every subject with respect to notes, every subject GS 1, 2, 3, 4, each subject you should be having the notes which are issue based on the basis of the syllabus, one with the basics, plus it should be in a point wise manner, having lot of keywords and substantiation. For this I will explain about GS3, but I will ask GS3 and GS1 I will explain, but I will ask Manjunath sir to please explain how one can make issue wise notes. Now first thing you understood is that notes are essential, one. Second, the same notes are not there for prelims and mains. Now the third point is, if those are not same, then question is how to make the notes. So with example, sir will explain about GS2 by taking one or another point.
Okay. Now, if you have gone through the prelims related syllabus, so if in case you remember UPSC notification prelims related syllabus, they'll give you very, very broadly, if you have seen issues related to Indian polity, Indian economy, sustainable development, environment, something like that. That means there is no detailed syllabus for your prelims. That's why even the questions also in prelims are very, very vague. Okay, let's keep prelims a little aside. You look at your mains related syllabus. If you have gone through it, it is very, very detailed. So GS2, if you take, it has 19 subtopics. And each subtopic, they'll ask you on an average one question. You will have 20 questions, 19 subtopics are there. So that you should identify first. Same way, let's say for example, then if you come to PYQs, you have to come. For example, as I just now told, Parliament chapter. So there is a question like, let's say, issue called as issues related to the Indian Parliament and state legislature. So there is a subtopic in the GS2 main syllabus. Based on that, you have to see what kind of questions have they asked in mains from 2013 to 2025 on Parliament related chapter. As I told, you will have some 7-8 issues. Same way, election related one topic is there. On elections, what kind of issues do they ask? You have to have that. It is not enough if you just have the syllabus. What you should have? Subtopic wise and especially PYQ based. Don't prepare anything for mains without keeping syllabus and PYQ. Same way, for example, there is salient features of Representation of People's Act 1951. For everything, for example, comparison of Indian constitution with that of other countries. So you look at the topic, specific topic, comparison of Indian constitution with that of other countries. You will easily identify that on an average they have, I think they have asked around 9 questions. So 3 each. On India, US they have asked 3. India, UK they have asked 2. I think 3 probably. And India, France they have asked 2. So 8 to 9 questions they have, only 3 countries, US, UK, France. They cannot ask from anything beyond that because they will only compare with major democracies. So that means your focus area is fixed now. Okay, I should focus on India, US, India, UK, India, France. And what are the major issues? Only that you need to focus. Even if you look at PYQs, you will understand the theme. Same way as I told, fundamental rights issue. You look at the PYQ, you will understand the theme. Anything you take, for example, you look at Supreme Court, judiciary issues related to the Indian judiciary. Supreme Court, if you take, easily you can identify the main topic. On an average, I think they have asked around from 2013 till here. Every year they'll ask at least 1 question on judiciary. Let's assume around 10 questions are there. At least 4 to 5 questions are on judicial activism, public interest litigation. Those two are the very, very important topics. So that means in your mains note, you should only write about first is what? Judicial activism, PIL. Then which are the other major issues which are pending? 1 year they have asked on Supreme Court judgments on ordinances. You can note down that also. Or whichever landmark judgment you get that year. For example, you know, recently remember 1 or 2 months back, Tamil Nadu governor issue. Supreme Court gave the detailed guidelines, state of Tamil Nadu versus governor of, that's an issue. That is what sir was telling. That's an issue you should note down. Then what are the other issues which are famous issues? Maybe in current affairs, may not be in current affairs also. For example, you take judiciary, judicial pendency. Very, very important issue. Recently, President Draupadi Murmu was describing it as what? Black coat syndrome, all those things. A very famous issue for a long time. For some reason, UPSC has still not asked a specific question. But it's a very, very, very important issue. It should be there in your notes. Judicial appointment controversy. Everybody knows collegium issue, this, that, NJSC. It should be there in your notes. Same way, for example, use of technology in judiciary. Like they are using more and more artificial intelligence. That should be there in your notes. Like that, every topic has some 7 to 8 issues. I mean, important topics, not every issue. Parliament, Supreme Court, all of them have at least 6 to 7 major issues, including PYQ based, plus some current affairs in use, plus may not be in current affairs, but it's very important, like judicial pendency. Current affairs, obviously, you know, for example, if you take election, everybody knows from the last 1 week, 10 days, Bihar's related election commission, sir, systematic, the intensive revision issue is going on. Specifically, SIR might not be asked as a question, but which body is in use? Election Commission is in use. Article 324 is in use. That you should note down. So that means 3 ways are there issues means. One is what? Issue based on PYQ. You will identify the theme. Second, current affairs issues. Let's say judiciary is a topic. Under that you can divide it into 3. One is PYQ related core themes. Second one is current affairs issue. Third is may not be in current affairs, but it's a very important topic which is still not asked. Like judicial pendency, like judicial reform. All those 3 should be there in your notes. Getting an idea? So like that, every subject will have that. Yeah, so then Ashish sir will continue.
So now, as sir has told about GS2, question is about the notes making. Sir told about notes making, that is current affair based notes, PYQ based notes, vagera vagera. Now here, how to make in the notes whatever sir told, I will add two things. One is understanding syllabus and how to make the notes on the basis of these 3 papers. One, and this is the second paper. I will take one example and then explain. For example, in GS paper 1, you are having something called as geography, right? That is geography. In this geography, what the syllabus mention is something called as world geophysical phenomena, right? Geophysical phenomena and something called as processes. Geophysical phenomenon के बारे में लिखा है, correct? Phenomenon, and that is so called as earthquakes. Later, there is something called as volcanic eruptions, vagera vagera. In GS paper 3, there is something called as, plus here they have mentioned something about resources, also resources and industries, and they are also mentioned about the glacial caps, right? That is Arctic, Antarctic. In GS3, there is something called as environment, right? And climate change. In here, there is something called as disaster management. Now, I will tell you, in the last, if you analyze the questions, that is from 2013 till 24 ka mains ka questions. I will take one topic. For example, in this geophysical phenomena, they are asking you 2 to 3 questions. How interlinked? Most of the questions from the GS3, especially are asked in GS paper 1. How? That is why you should understand the first most important is syllabus. Interlinkages between the syllabus, because there is no clear-cut division of the syllabus. The questions are of interlinked nature. Example, first, for example, they have taken a question I'm taking of something called as cyclone, something called as earthquake. So in geography, in paper 1, if the question is there, they will ask you, the paper is in GS paper 1, they will ask you, explain how does plate tectonic theory explain the earthquake, and also mention NDMA guidelines for this, right? So NDMA guidelines जो आप पढ़ते हो, that is basically in disaster management, but question आ रहा है in GS paper 1. So why? Because both of them are interlinked. Until unless you understand the geophysical phenomena, especially plate tectonics, you can't understand the disaster of earthquake, and you can't write this part. Getting the point? Similarly, the second, this is one of the favorite area of UPSC, that is cyclones. In GS paper 1, they have asked n number of times the question of cyclone, but what is asked? Not just about what is cyclone, what are the conditions. Question is asked about in cyclone, how you are going to, what are the guidelines to prevent or reduce the impact of the cyclone, one, and second is about color coding, and third, it is about something called as naming of the cyclones. Where it is asked in GS paper 1. Part kiska hai? GS paper 3 ka. So that means topic is interrelated. Until unless you understand geophysical phenomena, that is something called as oceanography, atmosphere, that is climatology, you can't understand climate. Without understanding this climate, how is this climate impacting the environment? मतलब ये पूरा एक ही है. This is itself is one particular thing only, unit. So depending upon this particular aspect of the PYQs, depending upon that only you have to make the notes. Now what is the classic problem? The students क्या करते हैं? Cyclone, हाँ, meaning, conditions required, impact, बात खत्म. Question आता ही नहीं है वैसा. So what should be done? Cyclone, हाँ, okay, impact, उसके बाद oceanography, NDMA guidelines, impact of the climate change. That is, if there is increase in sea surface temperature, what are the impact on the cyclone? This was yet another question in GS paper 1. I hope you are understanding. So what I am trying to do, they are asking something question about corals. Corals यहाँ पे directly दिया ही नहीं है GS paper में. Mainly questions are about dead zone, coral reefs. In what? Paper 1. If you have just seen the questions of the 2013 till 24. So what I want to say is that there is no clear-cut demarcation of the questions between any paper. Themes are repetitive, but syllabus is interlinked way में, and you have to prepare in interlinked way because the question is asked in interlinked way and you have to write in interlinked way. Is it clear? So depending upon this only you should make the notes, and to understand how to make the notes you have to understand these two things, that is PYQs and something called as syllabus. Until unless you don't know the syllabus, you can't do preparation absolutely. So this is the first major point. If sir wants to add something importance of the syllabus, you can highlight it from the other papers, sir.
Okay, so syllabus and PYQ, obviously by now you should have understood. Please remember, again I am telling you, never ever prepare for mains without keeping syllabus and subtopic PYQs in mind. Don't just fall behind whatever content, whatever magazine, everything is available. Please don't keep reading YouTube videos, this, that. I'm not saying you should not watch or read. The point is what? Whenever you want to read anything, whenever you want to watch anything, you ask yourself, is it mentioned in the syllabus, and is this what is UPSC expecting? For example, let's say some issue is going on related to, because let's say governance you take, role of civil services in democracy, or issues related to RTA, citizen charter, OSEP. What is the question that UPSC has asked in the last 5 years, 10 years? With only if you have that idea, you will understand whatever you are reading, is it in according to what UPSC is expecting, or are you just reading? That is one. Two, normally what students will have is, sir, should I again prepare notes? Because already a lot of toppers have already made the notes. They have already uploaded after they got into the list. Can I not use it directly? Again, so it is not suggested, because for simple reason is what? Content might be the same. The reason is what? If you prepare it on your own, obviously what is the advantage? You will understand the concept. You will process it. It will get registered in your subconscious mind. Only then you will be able to get the hold. For those, let's say for example, few people who were like, let's say part of your OGP batches only, but maybe they were a little good at prelims, or maybe they had started early for whatsoever reason, they have cleared prelims. Now they don't have notes, but they are writing mains this time. Maybe for them, because time issue is there, we'll tell them, okay, how to smartly take some toppers notes and manage also, but few other things also will suggest. But you guys, when you are attending the session, means what? You are preparing seriously for 2026 mains. Please don't just make use of toppers notes, download it and keep it and start reading the same thing, because whatever he would have processed, he or she would have processed, thought, and then made that notes, that advantage you will not get. You are only remembering some facts then. You please prepare your own notes. Notes is very, very important. I can't even, we can't even emphasize so much. That level of importance is notes for mains. Without notes, this exam is impossible, especially in mains. Impossible, literally, you just take it for granted.
So,
Because if you don't have notes, you can't revise multiple times. If you can't revise multiple times, it's very easy. Like let's say if you, in case you guys have already written weekly test, monthly test, all those things, you would have analyzed that problem, that you start writing something, okay, introduction, okay, I know the definition, but what should I write now? I know the demand of the question, what point should I generate? Okay, I know what are they asking, but I don't know any fact. I can write something, but I don't remember article, I don't remember Supreme. All these are because you still don't have mains related notes. Means you can't revise. You can't revise means it's not there in your fingertip. So please make your own notes. Then obviously, as we told, it should be based on this PYQ, current affairs, all those things. What should be there, as sir identified, that cyclone related like that you will get an idea only if you look at PYQ.
to
So
add
we are
one
first
more point,
emphasizing on notes. Yeah.
to add one more point, what sir is saying, you should have notes. But one classic mistake that the foundation based students do across India, you are having class notes, right? Now what is done, students will make notes ka another notes. Sir, jaldi revise hoga. For example, Manju ka political notes is there, which will be generally of 2 books, right? 400 pages. अब बच्चे क्या करते हैं, उसका भी notes का notes बनाते हैं. What I feel for prelims, rather than making notes का another short notes, for example, Lakshmikant itself is a notes from my perspective, उसका भी फिर से notes बनाते हैं और उसका बाद में फिर से short notes बनाते हैं. मतलब ये गधा मेहनत स्टेनोग्राफी का काम है. उससे अच्छा क्या करना चाहिए? What I feel, for example, Manju, if you have taught a precedent, you should solve 50 questions on precedent, parliament, 200 questions on parliament. So if the questions you are getting wrong, MCQs you are getting wrong, again go back to the book, add the basic points there, and depending upon that prelims ka notes, matlab you will going to do value addition. You are going to do underlining part which you are missing. What is that? So this is how the notes should be added. So what I feel for the prelims is that notes ka notes banana is not suggestible. Rather, that time should be invested more for solving MCQs, so that you get more refinement, more clarity, and more deeper knowledge about that respective topic. I hope everyone is understanding.
So this is for prelims related, sir has to told.
Right.
Don't get confused then. He is talking about prelims related, OGP notes. Don't have to make again anything. More focus on revision and MCQ solving for prelims. We'll come back to prelims again.
Right.
Focus more on mains now first.
So now I hope everyone got the idea about the notes. How short
I think
notes
you understood at least GS syllabus, PYQ, notes making, at least that I think you have understood. Again, how to make that? Obviously, as I told, let's say any topic you take. For example, what do you call it, citizens charter. If you look at PYQ, you'll understand mostly they'll ask about what I mean, that citizens charter is a significant tool to ensure transparency, accountability. But unfortunately, it suffers from various hurdles and limitations. Critically analyze. This is the regular pattern on citizens charter they have asked. That means in your notes, you should have what is the definition of citizen charter, some basic idea about how did it evolve, some basic principles of it, importance, limitation, way forward. Some questions what they do, they'll make it more analytical. For example, if you have seen Supreme Court fundamental rights related, year by year they make it more analytical. Like let's say when Puttaswamy judgment, remember right to privacy judgment came, they just asked about that examine the scope of fundamental rights in the context of Supreme Court recent judgment on right to privacy. They asked last year if you have seen, they have asked that they have asked about Article 21 itself, but they have linked it to what? Right to privacy in the context of DNA testing of the child or the fetus in the womb. That's more analytical and little more specific also. For that kind of issues, you should identify and then keep making those notes.
Correct.
Understood? That is the notes part. Then we'll start with next. We'll discuss about.
So speaking about the PYQs, we have already spoken about PYQ, but here I would like to tell one more example. Depend upon syllabus, we have to make the notes, very true, plus PYQs. Now I will tell you why the PYQs are very, very significant by giving one example. In GS paper 3, you are having one syllabus topic, that is internal security. In internal security, the syllabus is as follows. First time mentioned by UPSC is linkages between development and spread of extremism. Linkages between development and spread of extremism. But question is, this is a very generic statement. कौन सा extremism की बात कर रहे हैं? Whether it is about radicalism, mob lynching, Naxalism, left-wing extremism, insurgency, किसका बात कर रहा है ये? We don't know. To understand which form of extremism it is focusing upon, for that you should understand, for example, PYQs. PYQs you help you to decode the syllabus, understand the demand of the topic. For example, linkages between development and spread of extremism. In this extremism, one of the form is insurgency. So in insurgency and Naxalism. So if I take Naxalism, then what are the questions? There are total 5 questions. First question asked by UPSC. Article 244, sir, basically is not implemented in letter and spirit. What is its implication upon the development and how it has led to the rise of the Naxalism, scheduled area का मतलब पॉलिटी का 244 आर्टिकल नंबर लेके आए कहां पे जीएस पेपर 3 में. सेकंड, basically what are the factors determinants responsible for the present day Naxalism. Third, they are asking something called as a traditional question, for example like so called as what is the present status of the Naxalism in the India, मतलब आपको MHA का रिपोर्ट करना है. Similarly, insurgency, if I am speaking about, they will ask you insurgency in northeast and link it to the border management. So these are the syllabus topics which are interlinked. Plus they may ask you something called as Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967, NIA Act 2008. How are these acts and the recent amendments done by the government of India? What are these amendments and how it can help me to basically limit extremism and terrorism? For example, if there is any amendment with respect to PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, what are the changed amendments? उसका एनालिसिस चाहिए आपके पास. सो व्हाट टू स्टडी, मतलब these are all laws, constitutional articles which have been already asked by UPSC. So depending upon that topic, this can be linked to laws, constitutional articles, basics वगैरह. This you will understand only on the basis of PYQs, and that is why PYQs are the most significant aspects. I hope everyone got the idea about these two basic points: syllabus, notes making on each and every topic on the basis of the basics. Second is on the basis of current affairs, and third on the basis of the PYQs. Secondly is basically PYQs, its role. Third most important that we are going to focus is about current affairs. This is the one area where most of the students get troubled. And why? The question is how to prepare for the current affairs and what to prepare. There are two things that you should know. What to prepare in current affairs and how to prepare the current affairs. And should we make the notes and from where to prepare it? Where to? These are the four questions that you should understand. So to understand the first question, what to prepare, यही सबसे बड़ा सवाल है. Why students are not knowing what to prepare? The reason is pretty simple, because they are not knowing syllabus. Syllabus prepare नहीं कर रहे हो तो newspaper itself is a ocean. From that newspaper, what to read, what not to read, about what article you have to make the notes, how will you understand it? You are reading it for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is. But whether it is really needed for UPSC, what to read and what not to read, you will understand only on the basis of syllabus and PYQ. So that is why these are the first two basically steps, and then only ये आएगा. Right, sir?
Correct. So no doubt about it, because if you don't understand syllabus and PYQ, like as sir told, you just look at your Hindu newspaper. I mean, assuming most of you will be reading the print edition of the offline. Imagine if you read from A to Z of Hindu newspaper, when will you complete it? It's impossible. And another point, remember, the Hindu newspaper is not written for UPSC exam. Nobody is. Why will they do Hindu paper for UPSC exam? So it's a normal newspaper, because they cover it more analytically. Obviously, it's prepared for. I mean, it's preferred for the examination. Okay, first point. So obviously, so as sir has identified what, how, and all those things. First point. So should we prepare or should we read newspaper daily? If in case you still have that question in mind. Anyhow, because we have this weekly current affairs issues also there, monthly magazines are also there, yearly compilations are also there. Should we prepare or should we read newspaper every single day? First question, if you still have that, there is no doubt about it, 100% you have to read. Fine. Now next question, which newspaper if you have in mind? Obviously the Hindu, because it is available offline here. Actually Indian Express is also equally good, sometimes more good also, because just as obviously by now you would have understood, the Hindu has a little anti-government kind of a stand, the attitude that they take, all those things. But if you prefer offline edition, you can stick to the Hindu. So that is, should we read newspaper or not? So next comes what to read in a newspaper. I think by now you would have understood what to eliminate, what to read and all those things. Most importantly, remember that editorial issues, where in the mid column, like remember in the left side you'll have one above, one below, that is the editor's opinion. That matters the most. That's more or less mandatory. Then again, depending on whoever the what do you call this, other authors would have written, some 3 to 4 editorials will be there. Within them you have to choose 1 or 2, depending on which, because some they would have written just for the politics sake. So means mostly about broader discussion about ideology, like remember that RSS chief has told that 70 years should be, that is all not necessary for you. Why do you have to study about should 75 years Narendra Modi retire or not? Why will that matter for you? Correct. That is not necessary. On that you'll have so many editorials in Hindu, doesn't matter. So what to read, what not to read, keep that in mind. Next comes obviously, for example, sir, should we make the notes on that? My suggestion, it is better you make notes out of it. It is better. One, for example, let us say, for example, because the what do you call this, a Bihar election related issue is going on, when you read that issue, you can, two ways of reading. First is what you have to do. You have to go back and revise your basic concepts also. Because when they're talking about Article 324, this, that, everything, what you should do? Ask yourself, okay, do I remember the basics of Election Commission of India, Article 324, what are its function, what is its strength? Do I remember CEC and EC Act 2023, Supreme Court judgment in Anup Baranwal? Do I remember those things? If not, go back and revise your basics. If you remember those basics, then it's okay. Then you only focus on what? What is the recent issue? How should I focus on it? Please make a mains related notes. Sir, what do you mean by mains related note? Make it separate for subject wise. Let's say, for example, polity, governance, you can combine. Even social justice also you can combine. 3, you can keep it as one book. Economy, separate. International relation, separate. Environment, separate. Or maybe environment SNT, or that maybe you can keep that as separate also. And ethics, because some in the issues, whatever is going on, you might find some ethics related interlinkage also. Please keep a separate for ethics. Even what a lot of people do for essays also, they keep separate one. So please keep separate notes and write, because if you just write it everything in one notes, just I'm logically thinking whatever you do, you should do it from keeping mains related in mind. Let's say, for example, now people whoever are giving mains now, let us assume they have prepared mains related notes from 1 year. Now let's say they have a test on economy this week. Just as an example, they want to revise economy related their own current affairs notes of 1 year. If everything is put in one place, how will they identify where is economy issue? Page number 1 economy, page number 7 economy, 25. How will you revise it when tomorrow you have the test, or tomorrow you have GS3 mains exam? Please keep separate notes and note it down. What should I note it down? That different types are there. For example, when we are discussing, we identified, don't just copy paste whatever is there in the, what do you call this, the Hindu. You read once or twice, you read that editorial. Then you will have something like, let's say, registered, okay, this article is talking about so and so. You process it and note down in your own words. Don't just copy paste whatever is there in the newspaper. Again, normally another what students will do is what? They'll go to that, what do you call this, online edition, copy it, paste. And if you have copy pasted it, by now you would have understood that you have never revised it, because it's not possible. You should note down on your own, because notes is very, very important. Fine. Another one specifically, I think Ashish sir is trying. Yeah, please go on.
So, as sir was studying about, sir has already focused about how to make, what to make separate register वगैरह पूरा detail में बोल दिया. I will add only one point with one example. For example, today's newspaper, the Hindu में, the first topic itself is about Supreme Court to hear about Article 143. So it's about आपका so called as presidential reference, right? So now most of you might not be knowing it. So कैसे पढ़ना होता है newspaper मैं बोलता हूँ आपको. So basically tomorrow there can be something called as, this is आपका newspaper. In this newspaper you will be having here something called as editorial, right? These are the two major articles. उसमें कल एक आएगा पूरा detailed story आएगा. First read it. After reading it, you will understand some part of it. You will not understand complete. उसके बाद ask WH questions. What is this 143? Why is it essential? Who can do it? मतलब right? How to do? What is the procedure? Right? How? ये सब कुछ basically brainstorm थोड़ा सा करो. I am not saying you will get answers. After this, I will ask you that with respect to this, you make use of this thing that is called as Chat GPT. Extremely essential. Nowadays, students are very, very smart. They are using the very, very good technology like Chat GPT वगैरह, from where you can get in simple words, आपको पता चलेगा ये है क्या. After that, what you understood certain issues, you should not give more than 8 to 10 minutes. You have to just type a prompt. Why is this article 143 recently in news? Why is president giving a reference? Is it essential? Was there any earlier reference given? What was the issue? Tell me everything in simple words, especially for the UPSC. Chat GPT देगा. You will understand something. If you are not understanding, again, उसको sub questions you can ask. You understand, you got some idea. After that, link it to this वगैरह, and then whatever the register you are having, in that respective register, यहाँ पे topic आएगा सबसे पहला judiciary, or you can write this in executive, right? Executive में president का is your notes, right? President और something called as judiciary का, उसके अंदर ये है presidential reference. ये 10 points आने चाहिए, बस 10 points में notes, whatever you understood on the basis of this article and on the basis of Chat GPT. Do not cut, copy, paste. Whatever you understood, whatever you are able to think, okay, what it is, why is it essential, what are the issues involved, what can be the possible impacts, correct? वो सब कुछ आपको in your own words you have to write. This itself is making the notes itself processing. If you are doing it, this will give you a lot of, I would say, so called as edge over the other people, because information processing is happening with you. Other people are collecting the information. You are processing the information. This is a particular difference. So this is what should be done, especially for the mains specific notes, compulsory issue wise notes. तो हो गया issue wise notes. Example executive president का reference वो हो गया issue. Getting the point. So this is how the newspaper should be linked. सबसे पहला newspaper you should know. For example, article 143 syllabus का it is linked to something called as GS paper 2. For example, GS paper 2 में executive or judiciary whatever you consider. Let us me consider it as executive. Executive में कौन सा president. President में ये issue है. For example, president के तीन में चारों issues हो गए. For example, reference, governor rule, correct. तीसरा होगा कुछ और. So these are the issues of president. उसमें से एक issue है 143 का. उसके अंदर के points है. That's it. Mains में ये पूछेगा. I hope you are understanding. So this is how actually you have to make the current affair based notes where you can make use of lot of chat GPT. So this will help you to understand the issues in detail. Don't just merely cut copy because everything will be provided by insights on their website. Is it clear? So this is how I think topics, notes, PYQs, current affairs you can do. Now comes the most important point, that is revision. Now speaking about the revision, only one thing which will help you to clear this examination after doing all these things is revision. Because without revision, why revision? I will tell you the reason. If you are revising the notes, what are the notes you have made, PYQs you have done, current affairs you have read, revision will give you mastery, command over what you have studied. One. Second, in examination, remember for 10 markers you get 7 minutes only. In that 7 minutes, you have to actually recall, remember, link the things. To do that, revision is the only way. That is called as revision, and practice will help you to recall, remember, link the things, and then only you can reproduce in examination. नहीं तो क्या होता है? हाँ मुझे पता है article 143 सबको पता है. Now if sir gives a very simple question on article 143, I guarantee no one can write here 100 words. Reason is very simple. They have understood 143, sir ने पढ़ाया होगा, president वो सब कुछ sir ने पढ़ाया है, आपको भी समझ में आया. But when it comes to writing, होगा नहीं. इसका reason एक ही है, lack of revision. Without revision, no one on planet Earth, whoever have given UPSC, have cleared this examination. Revision is the only key for this examination. Correct, sir?
Correct. No doubt about it. And just for current affairs, if in case you still have in mind, sir, I still now have not focused too much on current affairs notes. Should I go back and do the whatever from Jan 2025, all those things? Not necessary, because anyhow you are giving for 2026. From today onwards or from tomorrow onwards, you focus. Fine. And till now you might not have focused much for simple reason, because most of your current affairs or newspaper will be what polity, economy, international relation, to an extent environment, S&T. Maybe when we had started, your polity and economy might not have been done, or even though your polity and economy, if it was done, obviously you'll be occupied with 2 classes per day, 3 classes per day, optional, this, that. You'll not get time. We understand. In the beginning, whatever your OGP class are there, 8 to 10 months, it's not so easy to do each and everything. For simple reason, you'll be over occupied with classes. But now you cannot give that reason. So please don't give excuses. You have to sit and make it. Maximum 1.5 hours your newspaper should be done. Maybe in rare cases, or maybe in the initial stages, it might take till 2 hours also. And if in case in the beginning, if you still have doubt, sir, I understood, but I am still having a doubt, like even after I use ChatGPT, how to make notes, all those things. Maybe you can refer to, like, let's say how Insights is also making daily current affairs videos and everything. You can refer to them and start noting. Maybe 1 week, 10 days, 20 days, something like that. But by the time you will get an idea, then as sir told, you can make use of ChatGPT, Google and everything, and you process and you note it down. Remember, I am telling you, when you read current affairs, revise your basics also.
Correct.
Don't just keep on reading current affairs. If the issue is on, let's say for example, if they are telling something about IMF has given a forecast that India's GDP will increase by so and so, decrease by so and so, you ask yourself, do you know about IMF first? When was it established? What is the structure? What is their power? Whatever, so many keywords are there. Do you know basics about GDP, GNP, NDP, whatever, so many things is there. Now I think recently they changed base year also. Do you know about that? Ask yourself, revise those basics. Then if you have any extra issue to be noted down, you note it down in your current affairs notes. Don't just because you are still in the initial stages. You have just completed your basic. You will not have very super hold on your concepts, will not be there. That will only come if you day in, day out revise your basics. So when you revise that basics, it will help you in your prelims also. Clear? That is current affairs related. We'll come back to it again when we do.
Correct.
When you do about revision, daily schedule, everything, we'll come back to that again.
So, sir, as rightly said, revision, when to do, how to do revision, right? and about writing वगैरह पूरा. For understanding this, I am just jumping from this point to directly the other point. Just understand. So now you are having something called as let us consider August with you, September, October, November, and December. I am just jumping for 2 minutes. Just understand, guys. So here in this case, if these are the only days that are left with you, daily what we are planning is that daily and ideally any particular student can study for 11 hours per day, right? This is the ideal time, at least 11 to 12 time one has to study. Out of this 11 hours, we emphasize the students generally to divide it at 5.5 hours or 6 hours or 5 hours, depending upon one's convenience. Then so called as another 5 hours and another 1 hour to 1.5 hour for something called as current affairs. This is for something called as general studies, and this is for something called as optional. Now when we are doing this, इसमें से out of this 5 hours, whatever you are putting in for GS, इसमें से half hour should be compulsory kept for answer writing. इसमें से भी half hour should be compulsory kept for answer writing. So in this schedule, what you have to do, along with the reading part, in that remaining half hour, you have to incorporate these two things. One is answer writing component, and second is the just skimming through the topics that you have gone, that is revision, which I was speaking about. Today I read, as sir told, फेडरलिज्म मैंने पढ़ लिया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई हैव जस्ट गॉन थ्रू दैट नोट्स फेडरलिज्म का, एंड ऑन दैट फेडरलिज्म नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू डू द आंसर राइटिंग. सो दिस ब्रिंग्स मी टू दिस क्वेश्चन, दैट इज नेक्स्ट इज आंसर राइटिंग का शेड्यूल. आई होप यू गॉट इट. दिस शेड्यूल कैन चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू योर ओन कन्वीनियंस. दिस इज द इन जनरल आई एम सेइंग 11 आवर्स कर सकते हैं, यू कैन डू इट एनीवे. व्हेन इट कम्स टू आंसर राइटिंग, क्वेश्चन इज व्हेन टू डू इट, whether you should do it daily or whether you should do it weekly. So what we suggest, and from where to do it, there are three major questions. So in this context, if I am speaking about answer writing, for example, in this half hour, when you are writing the answers, you have to take only major two sources. One, what we believe is that one PYQ you should write daily about the topic that you have studied in optional or in the general studies, that is one PYQ compulsory, and one current affair ka based question only on the topic that you have studied. For example, today you studied, for example, GS2 ka. Today let us consider we have studied executive. In executive, one PYQ you wrote plus second PYQ, today's current affair में क्या है, 143 article about president, उसका question will be put in insights का secure. So secure initiative में there will be free questions and the so called as model answers also. So उसको भी एक बार देखना है, do brainstorming and write one answer. So this is how you incorporate daily answer writing, revision, that is skimming of what you have studied, with so called as your preparation. I hope you are getting the point. Sir, please, if you want to.
Just to add to that, let us say, for example, you guys are prepared. Let's say you want to start making notes now, because you are in that stage. I'm just taking it as an example. Let us say, for example, you are preparing notes for GS2. Fine. Today you prepared notes for, let us assume, judiciary topic. So then what you do? On judiciary, try to write as sir has identified, let's say one PYQ. GS related, 5 hours you give, or 4.5 hours you give. Half an hour, what you have to do? For example, on judiciary, what you take one PYQ or two PYQ. So revise it and then write that PYQ. Then if in case today from your current affairs, if you have any kind of PYQs or not, sorry, what do you call these issues, that you can write another answer. But every day, make sure that you write every single day, because remember, only if you write very, very regularly, you will understand your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe your handwriting issues might be there. Maybe language, grammatical problems might be there. Or maybe, for example, you are just writing theory based, you are not substantiating anything. Or maybe you are writing only from one dimension, multiple dimensions you are not bringing. Or maybe you are still writing in what you call this very, very broad theory kind of what paragraph related format answers. You will understand those limitations. Or time management issue might be there, space management issue might be there. You are addressing only one subpart, you are neglecting another. So many challenges will be there. That you will understand only if you write daily, keeping time limit in mind. So don't write just like that. For example, let's say you took as I told, let's say judiciary topic, you made the notes today. On the topic, you want to write one PYQ now. You have still not revise it, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour you revise. Then you write the PYQ. But when you write PYQ, please start keeping what time, stop clock, or what do you call the time limit in mind. At least now, from now on, maybe you may not be able to write in 7 minutes itself. You may take maybe 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. But at least keep that thing in mind. Okay, I am still in 10 minutes range. For a 10 marker, you are still taking 10 minutes. but you have to reduce it to what? 7 minutes. Then you will understand. Note down the time limit. Okay, 10 marker, I've taken 10 minutes for this question. In your mind, you keep asking yourself, why did I take 10 minutes? I knew the demand of the question. Why did I take 10 minutes? Were you not able to revise the points? Or writing speed is less? Or you started to write quickly, your handwriting, what do you call this, or alignment got disturbed, or font size got disturbed. So many issues will be there. What is the problem? Please, for every answer, whatever you write, note down your problem. This is my problem. I could not recall my definition. I could not recall article. I could not recall Supreme Court judgment. I could not recall points, or I could not, what do you call this, generate mind maps or something. Handwriting issue was there. What is your challenge? Please note down. Don't just keep writing also. If you don't identify your mistake, very simple, what they keep telling, you should be ready to fail every single day. Fail means you should be ready to commit mistake and learn. If you don't commit mistakes now, if you don't fail now, means you are keeping your failure for that exam day. That's as simple as that. So please learn from your mistakes, don't hesitate. Same thing you can apply it for your optional also. Same logic. Let's say you have your optional notes already, fair enough. You revise it and then write the answer. Or let's say you have your optional notes, but then you saw the PYQ, then you felt, okay, my optional notes, 70-80% is fine, but some current issues are pending. Please note down that extra value addition for your optional notes. Then obviously, every single day, half an hour, you keep it for your optional related answer. Same way, PYQ only you write. Any other issue, if you have it in mind, or any other, for example, now you have so many Telegram channels for every optional, so many things are there that any based on current affairs, they keep posting the questions. You take down that one extra question, you note it down. And of course, for current affairs, as sir told, you can make use of secure also. Obviously, it's there. You'll be knowing about it by now. Please make use of that. So that is every single day how you have to dedicate 5 plus 5 plus 1 or 4.5 for plus 4.5 plus 1, something like that. But make sure that till December, every single day, you should give at least 10 hours. Because if you don't give 10 hours, that means you are only postponing the problem. I am again and again telling you, don't postpone it. If you don't do it now, you have to do it in 2026 mains time. Even then, if you can't do it, that means you have to come back another attempt then. So please make sure you put that effort now itself. It's very crucial time till December. By now you should have understood it. If you still have not understood it, I am again cautioning till December is the most important time. So please make sure that especially those who have done the basic classes, I mean the OGP students, I'm telling you, that is schedule wise. 5 plus 5 plus 1 or 4.5, 4.5, 1.5 also is fine. I think you understood that point. Half an hour here and there, that's your comfort. Again, some students have thought, such what should we study first? That you can't suggest so easily because it depends on your comfort. But mostly, as we were discussing, what we felt is, if in case you are revising theory part of your optional that time, let's say for example, paper 1, most of the optionals have theory part. So optional related theory part, if you are revising that day, please give it as early as possible in the morning. Because normally when you get up, that first 4-5 hours is your very crucial time. Means you will be fresh, your mind will be able to focus better. You keep that time for your optional as far as possible. And another, just to suggest, please make sure that you might be a, what do you call as this person who read late in the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock also, it's fine, that's your comfort. But in general, my suggestion, it's better you keep as early as possible in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, because by afternoon, your entire thing should be done as much as possible. Because by afternoon, by evening, you know, your friend circle will come, library, coffee, teas. That's a very normal. You will not get that focus, not so easy. My suggestion this is, if in case you are a very late night person and you are very comfortable with it, you can stick to that, absolutely fine. So morning cycle is very, very crucial always. Right? Okay, so then.
So now coming to the one of the most major and the most important doubt that what student have after this foundation course is the test series. Two things, which test series and when to join. उसमें से भी most important question is second one, when to join. To understand when to join the test series, first let us try to understand one simple example. If I say that tomorrow, example, today is 20th. If I say on 24th, you are having example a test on basically GS paper 3. You are having a test on something called as disaster management, internal security and NV. Or if I say you have joined any other, let us consider on 28th or 28th, you are having a test on GS paper 2, that is so called as social justice and governance, right? Governance. अब मुझे आप बोलो, if I tell that this is a test series and a schedule, this is called as a schedule of the test, right? And this is, let us consider test number 10, this is test number 11, okay? This is what is given by all the institute. Now question is very simple. ये problem नहीं, problem क्या है ये सुनो अब. Problem ये है कि in this 4 days or in this 3 days, do you have all the points? Do you have all the notes? Is everything prepared? Because in these 3 days, what you have to do? First, you have to understand internal security. Imagine it, because इससे पहले test कब हुआ था? 21st, for example. This was test number 9. So that means in this 3 days, you have to complete. In these 3 days, you have to complete reading of disaster, internal security, environment. Plus PYQs देखना पड़ेगा. Plus current issues देखना पड़ेगा. If that is done, then only you are ready for this test. Correct? So if this is not done, and if you are just going for the test, and if you are not able to complete out of 20, you are able to complete merely 7 to 8 questions, then you are like, sir, मुझे time नहीं मिल रहा है, या फिर I don't have content. It is mainly because it is not pre-prepared. It is not pre-prepared. That is why यहाँ पे problem आता है. Am I right or wrong? So in this case, to understand about the test series, what we felt after discussion is that ideally before September, remember, we are still having almost 70 days in your hand. 10 days remaining plus this 60, 70 days in your hand. In 70 days, at any cost, you should complete your general studies preparation, right? Once you complete this preparation, then if for this remaining 3.5 months, 3 and Jan ka half, that is 3.5 months, may basically you can join a test series. One, or secondly, every week you are having 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? Sundays. So there will be total 14 Sundays. 14 Sundays, 14 tests you can write. Getting the point? 14 tests. Out of that 14 tests, we suggest the students to write 3 tests on something called as 3 to 4 tests on something called as essay, and other tests on GS also. Getting the point? Don't neglect essay. So this is how you plan. For this, you have to complete something called as general studies before September. If you do that, then only your this last question का part है ना, survey कब join करूँ, कौन सा करूँ. This is very good. I am getting it on Telegram for free. Free मिलने दो. लेकिन what to write and what not to write, before that you should have a clear plan, right? Getting the point? In this context, so you have to choose a test series in such a way where your mains and prelims preparation will go simultaneously. For example, in insights you are having something called as integrated prelims come mains program, right? So that IPM मतलब क्या, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? You are having, for example, you are having all the notes of basically social justice and governance ready. So ये 2 दिन में फटाफट in 8 hours I am going to revise, sir, because daily we are giving how much time, guys? We are giving something called as 4 hours or 5 hours for GS. My social justice and governance का Manjunath sir का, let us consider IBC course, if you have taken, his notes will be almost about 40 pages. 40 pages मेरे पास already ready है, written with your own hand, plus current issues भी sir ने add किए उसमें IBC में. So in this context, for 50 pages is ready. To read 50 pages you will take hardly 5 hours. So first day में मैंने क्या किया, सर का नोट्स पढ़ लिया. Second day, whatever was the social justice and governance का टेस्ट है, उससे related current affair देख लिए. And third day I went for writing a test. Getting the point? But for that you should be prepared before something called as September. This is what we believe. Then only you can write the test. Now there are 2 ways. Another way is that people say from this part, that is August, September, October, November, December, simultaneously चलने दो सब कुछ, which will be very difficult from our perspective, because you have to manage, along with this you have to manage current affairs, you have to manage the basics, plus उसके बाद revision, plus daily answer writing. ये कब होगा possible? It is ideally, सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, when you start to do it practically it becomes very difficult. So ideally you should do it before September. In this context, see, there is something called as bridge courses which have really helped the students in the past. Students who are writing 26 का means have really joined bridge course. I'm not मतलब trying to tell anything, but मैं simple word में बोल रहा हूँ. उन्होंने क्या दिमाग लगाया? 10 days, every 10 days में there is something called as intensive bridge course. What they are doing in 10 days explicitly, as of now they have paused this. Every 10 days, 10 days, example 3, 1 month, they have paused something called as optional everything. 3 GS paper fatak se, out of that 2 are done, 2 are then third is ongoing. So just imagine by August, if you're basically from July 20th till August, if you're 3 to 4 GS paper, if they are done, you are getting total itna time. And out of this much time, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Example, if I was at your position, what would I have done? I will tell you. Very simple. Example, I would have joined something called as intensive bridge course. Today is 20th. Let us consider from 24th I have joined. 24th of July. So from 24th of July till August 31st, I am having something called as total 38 days, right? Each intensive bridge course ka something called as IBC ka, each course, GS paper for example 2, GS paper 3, वगैरह is conducted for 10 days, right? 10 days, and average time is something called as 80 hours, right? 80 hours classes are done where syllabus PYQs notes are completely done. 100% मैं बोल रहा हूँ. In this context, let us consider daily if you are watching just IBC for 10 hours and 1 hour you are doing only for newspaper. Do not miss newspaper. So what will happen in this, if you are giving 10 hours per day for something called as IBC, that means which you have already taken, that means 8 to 10 days may what will happen, one paper will get completed, right? With notes, with current affairs, with answer writing, sab kuch. So 10 days carry one paper. So in 38 days, I am considering ideally and practically 3 GS paper khatam ho jayega. 3 paper khatam ho. Now you are left with September, October, November, December. That is how many days? 120 days. In that 120 days, in the remaining time, let this continue. So that means for in the remaining time, you will be having optional carry 120 days. 120 days into 5 hours per day is remaining 600 hours. Where ये भी होगा plus ये भी होगा. This should ideally be done. This is what I believe. What do you think, sir?
So that means just to sum up and then we had to add few points. Point number 1, from now till September, focus on what? Focus on GS related notes making. Understood? If you have, let's say, for example, means related topics, when classes will keep going on, you can attend that. But now when you do that, you have to keep all these things in mind. Okay, syllabus, PYQ. Am I getting that? Let's say, for example, some faculties might teach through PPTs. Fair enough. But what do you have to do? You have to make use of that PPT and make your notes. Don't just keep PPT like that, because you can't revise PPT for your main, what do you call this, mains time. You should have your own notes. So till September is your notes making time. Without that, you cannot join test series, because remember, that's a procedure, means step. First is your syllabus, PYQ, notes making. Then comes your revision, what do you call as this, test series and everything. You can't directly go to test series, because where is your notes? If you don't have notes and then directly go and write, as sir told, you'll write some 10 question or something, you'll end up scoring 40 mark, 50 mark, 60 mark. Because you have paid, you'll write for 5 tests, 6 tests in that energy, then you will get demotivated. Because imagine if you're getting 60 out of 250, what will you feel? You will feel that, okay, maybe I'm not up to the mark, maybe I'm not, all these issues will come, confidence will get affected. That's why focus on procedure, make notes, write answers for PYQs every single day. By September, you should be ready with everything. Then you can join, obviously, as there's so many test series. Normally after mains, everybody will launch test series again. IPM 2.0, 3.0, everything for 3 months, 4 months till January, something like that. There you join the test series. On an average, you'll have week, and keep it as a formula. Every week, from, I'm not telling now, I'm telling when. After September, October, November, December, if possible, if you're doing till January mid, every week, one GS full length, one optional full length, one essay full length. This should be a formula. Every week, what all? 3 full length, GS full length, optional full length, and then essay full length mandatorily every single week. So how many ever weeks? Let's say, sir, I identified, let's say 12, every month, if you have 4 weeks, if you take October, November, December, 12 weeks, 12 into 3 minimum. I'm telling week wise. If you take January, 2 weeks, you add 14 into 3. Mandatorily you have to do. Because essay also you will not improve just when you write during the exam, you will not improve that. You should do it regularly. This is your October, November, December strategy. For that, you have to focus on August, September strategy first. Every single day, 5 hours GS related notes making, 5 hours optional related notes making. If you have notes, value addition. If you have value addition, revise. If you have revised, write. So please don't skip the procedures, because if you skip the procedure, it's going to be difficult. So you cannot ask question like, sir, is notes important, writing important? Of course, both are equally important. You cannot write without notes. Sir, what if I keep making only notes? Of course, that will not help. Both are equally important. It should be like 50-50%, because once you do the notes, then it's all revise, write. Notes is like the foundation, that's it. Then if October, November, December entirely is your revise, revise. You write every single day PYQ or any other secure related question. But weekend or anywhere, one GS full length, one optional full length, mandatorily 3 hours you have to write. And so by the time you start your exclusive prelims preparation, you should be in such a level that you should be like I am able to complete 20 questions in 3 hours. I am in the stage of mains. I'll go 3 to 4 months, 100 days I'll give for prelims. Make sure that I'll crack it by 100 plus I'll score. Then when I come back for mains, let's say in June, you should not be like, I still have to prepare that notes, this notes, I've still not given PYQ, or I'm still in the stage of writing 14 PY, 14 questions, 15 questions. If you are in that stage, 2026 mains will become impossible then. You should be in a stage by January that whatever it is, I am absolutely done for mains. I'll just have to revise and write in June, July, August. Next June, I am telling, for the next mains. That stage you should be there. If you want to do that, this strategy, whatever we had, sir clearly told now, please stick to that. So, and of course, there obviously have so many options. We have told you a few other options. There's so many like that. So please focus on that. And normally, sir, should I do it everything by self-study? Of course, you can do it. We have told the entire clear strategy. You can do it by your own. When you do by your own, please make sure that you should have very good self-discipline. And if you are not able to maintain that self-discipline, please talk to mentor, talk to faculty. Don't waste time. Always remember, just, I'm not telling you just, you can't do it. But the point is what? Time is crucial. You delayed by till September, October, you tried on your own. Then September, October, you realized, okay, it's better. Directly, make preparing notes from using so videos and everything. Then when you will write start test series then. If you delayed by this 2-3 months, that means 2-3 months you are postponing again. You'll only make notes by December then. When you will write test series, you will be in the stage of still writing 14 PYQ, 14 question, 13 question then. Don't delay. Any doubts you have, please talk to faculties, talk to mentors, or talk to whatever seniors you have in your libraries anywhere. Please don't delay it. Very crucial time you are in. I'm not just like, let's say, kind of warning you, but that is the reality actually. If you want to clear 2026 attempt, that's the crucial point. Yes, sir. Anything else?
So to sum up in one line, mains is the real examination. Okay. If you are really getting good marks in mains, then only you will be in list. Final PDF में आना है, तो only one solution is basically mains. And for preparing that mains, from January you are completely occupied. So whatever you have to do is from today till December in short. And how to do, this is the procedure, these are the components, and in this context how you should follow. We thought to just basically help the students that what should be done ideally. This is how the students have done in the past, and then they have cleared this examination very easily. So now what I would say, sir, is that basically if you are having anything other than this doubt, please feel free to openly share so that we can take your doubts. If you are
just to add another point, and normally if you still have doubts, sir, you are only telling about mains, all these things, but I'm still weak in very weak in prelims. What should I do now? If you have the doubt, always remember, first point, mains is always the bigger circle. The more and more you have hold on the mains, that means you have hold on the prelims.
Correct.
Sir, why is it like that? As I told, just for example, recall in current affairs, let's say when you're reading the Hindu, what did I tell? If there is any issue on IMF forecasting on GDP, what do you have to do there? Go revise basics of IMF, go basics of GDP. If there is any issue on election commission, go revise basics of election commission, basics of election. If there is any issue on anti-defection law, revise basics of anti-defection law. Revise basics of, let's say, sir was showing Article 143. Recall, go back and revise your basic. Oh, this is about president's jurisdictions. What all powers that president have? Or Supreme Court's Article 143 advisory jurisdiction of, revise those basics. Sir, should I take prelims related test series also now? Again, for that, obviously, what you have to do? As we told, for example, from September to December, IPM related kind of thing, where you'll have some specific syllabus. On that, you'll have a mains test also. On that, you'll have a prelims test also. No, sir, I'll only join year-long mains test series, or 3 or 4 months mains test series only I'll take. Fair enough. You take that mains test series, but you have the syllabus. Let's say polity, governance, you had a mains related test in your September, October. You revise that. Anyhow, you have so many test series available for prelims also. So question paper is available. Solve that. Or prelims related PYQ question banks you have. Remember, PYQ question bank for prelims also matters a lot. Remember that question banks, even Insights has released that. I don't know if you know that or not. Very good book actually that is. Like that, if you want to take another one also, it's fine. But PYQ related, prelims question bank matters a lot. So when you're revising for your mains also in September to December, you can keep solving that also. Correct. You're revising judiciary, Judiciary related mains PYQ, look at into it. Plus what you can also do, judiciary related prelims PYQ, solve that. If possible, you can add to your schedule, not now, September to October, every week, one, whatever GS syllabus you are reading, that prelims related one question or one test also you can add. So that will come later, but now focus on whatever we have discussed till September. This is broadly what we wanted to discuss. Of course, any questions you have, anything else in mind,
Correct.
you please ask first.
Feel free to ask whatever it is.
At least this is the time. You have already spent almost 1 year.
Trust me, I will tell you one analogy, a second analogy. There is something called as a esteemed program at Insights that is called as core batch. Core batch के बारे में सुना है कभी? What is core batch? Core batch is nothing but the students generally who have written already basically last year mains or last year interview दिया है, but still they could not qualify. So they will join something called as core batch. Core batch में क्या होता है? Notes is ready, PYQs they have seen, current affair they know, everything. So every second day they are just coming and writing. So every second day coming, writing continuously for almost 8 months. So just imagine the proficiency that they will be having when they come in the month of December and in the month of the May. They don't stop in the month of Jan also. They will keep on writing till May. Core batch wala people. Correct. Just before 20 days of prelims, that will be stopped. They तो continuous answer writing ही करते रहते. क्यों? Because mains is the original examination, and they are the people who will clear PT also. Because as sir said rightly, the bigger circle is of what? Mains. So basically they are having command over the basics, plus mains bhi ho gaya, plus that is why now they have continuously written for 8 months. So again in the remaining time from May, again in the September you will be having examination next time. Unka to written bhi ho gaya daily after second day writing. So for them, mains examination actually UPSC is just another day cut mock test. You are going to compete with those people. So in this context, what I am trying to tell in simple words is that if you are having any doubts in your mind, whatever it may be, the smallest of small, please ask now only. Let that be anything. If you have anything, let that be silly or kuch bhi hoga to pooch lena now only.
Did any of you give 2025 attempt? Okay. So what challenges did you face? Notes you had revised. Lacking notes for prelims. Correct. Okay, fine. Basics, how many times you had revised, like NCRT or class note? Once, twice, thrice, twice. Okay. What is the range of your score? 60s. Okay. But did you, before going to prelim, before giving the attempt, how many mock tests had you attempted, like practiced? Like 5, like in single digits? Like 10. That too at the end you would have prepared, you would have given few. Yeah. So that means whatever she told is actually genuine first time, whoever is giving that first time prelims,
Correct.
Genuine problems. First, sir, I had not revised too many times. One or two is nothing. Minimum, I can tell you,
Right.
minimum for especially first timers. You have already cleared twice, thrice, they can revise once or twice also, they can go and clear because subconsciously they'll have that confidence. First time when you want to clear prelims, minimum 8 to 10 times every subject.
Correct.
You should have. Minimum that too. Some people do. If you have seen those who are giving like 4th mains, 5th mains, go look at the Lakshmi context book.
Correct.
If it is
Plus
still not
PYQ,
done,
sir.
that imagine that. Huh?
Plus PYQs.
Plus PYQs. Imagine how many times they have to revise. Minimum is 10. Next time also when you are giving your 2026 attempt, by then you will be much better position.
Correct.
You will revise at least 8 to 10 times your class note or whichever notes that you have for prelims, plus NCRT, plus any reference book, whichever is good, plus PYQ solving, mock tests. Every subject itself you should give minimum 10. 5 to 10 minimum. She has given total 10. Obviously, because she will be in the OGP classes, she would not have got so much of time. So she would have felt that, okay, maybe we can manage, or maybe whatever issues she would have thought. So it is not her problem. The point is simple time management issue. In other words, over occupied with OGP classes for obvious reason, you can't help. Assured. And obviously mains related, as we told, I think this is lacking. Even though you would have cleared prelims, these problems you would have faced.
But the best part is she has realized it.
Yeah,
Most
she
of
has
the
realized
candidates
it.
don't realize also. कैसा
Very
हुआ मेरे साथ.
important you realize
Right.
mistake. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. Please be ready to fail every single day. Means learn from your mistake. Don't postpone. Sir, test I have still not revised. I will not give. I will postpone. You will not be able to understand the mistakes. Learning or unlearning is more important here, more than learning. Like for example, as we keep telling, what not to do is also equally important here. If you do research on each and every topic, remember always it's a generalist exam. Let's say on poverty, if the question is on poverty, if you do, there are people who do thesis on poverty. You are not expected to do a thesis. GDP, base year, there are theses. You don't have to do a thesis. You should only understand what are they asking in prelims, mains. Generalist mindset. Optional, you think like a specialist to an extent. Not in GS. No Amartya Sen, no Albert Einstein. Only broader aspect.
Batch 4 which year?
This year, last year, this year.
2026 का. Classes. So for the what he is asking, he is a student of the ongoing OGP classes, how he can integrate all these things with his ongoing classes. First thing, for example, if the polity is ongoing, first thing, rather than knowing prelims ka syllabus, you should know first mains ka syllabus, one. Secondly, whatever sir has taught, that respect, for example, he has taught today about fundamental duty, or if I taught about climate change, then you should have 2 books with you. Along with the class notes, you should have 2 books. One is that red color ka book of the Insights PYQ. You should go there, first see the prelims ka PYQ only on the fundamental duties. Okay, there are 28 questions on the fundamental duties in the last 20 years. Okay, these are the 28 questions. I am going to solve those. Let us consider out of the 28 questions, you get incorrect 20 questions. Does not matter. But आपको पता तो चला fundamental duties के ऊपर total how the questions are asked. One is fact based, one is conceptual based. Okay, I got the idea. So depend upon that, those things I did addition to my base notes. उसके बाद the same fundamental duties का question I will see from mains. Mains के ऊपर which are the questions from the fundamental duties. Okay, these are the PYQs of the fundamental duties in the mains examination. Whatever the points are, whatever is asked, the demand of the question. If I am not able to answer that demand of the question, again I will make use of the internet, and that points I am going to add it to my base notes and उसको फिर से एक बार revise करूँगा. If you do this consistently, it is so called as JAN, then you are ready. Prelims come mains. This is how you can do it.
But my suggestion, as of now, what you do, you don't focus too much on mains now itself. Whatever sir told is correct, but you will have the time issue now, because I think at least 2 classes going on or only 1. Yeah, so that means obviously you will not get too much of time to revise now. So if I am telling these people who are like how these guys were there last year, you are in that position now. So focus on, as of now, you focus on whatever classes are being taught. Focus on that. Class note revision every single day. NCRT reference book, you should focus on that now. As quickly as your classes, GS related classes complete, then whatever sir told now, that procedure you can do it at that time.
So basically this idea or this session, open house session, was mainly for the students who have completed the foundation. मतलब who have some idea, हाँ, polity ऐसा होता है, ये होता है. Depend upon that, what they are going to do in the upcoming 6 months, for them this will be highly beneficial. Getting the point?
For you, it's a difficult position now. We can't talk about whatever we discussed here. For you, applying is very difficult. For these people, it's more difficult because they joined batch on Monday. Now they have come and sat for mains preparation now. How should I tell them for mains preparation? You guys have gone through that 1 year. You tell him. How will I tell him for mains preparation now?
Other OGP people are realizing.
Is it possible? You 1 ವರ್ಷ spend ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. So that's how it is. So obviously, because of curiosity, they would have attended. But they're in a different position. We can't tell them these things now. They will understand it another 6 months, at least 8 months, 10 months later, they'll be in that position. It's a stage wise. Like for example, those who are giving this mains, we can't tell them all this. Those who have already given interviews, or we can't tell all this because they know all these things. Everybody is in different position. Based on which position are you, which level of preparation, we have to understand the strategy.
Any other?
Okay, any other things? Still, okay, yeah, correct. So that another point. So sir, I have still not completed optional because maybe you are in, let's say, I think B8, B9, B10, those people normally would have still not completed optional. Obviously, first thing is, please make sure you have joined, still not completed, not yet joined. Okay, so obviously, first thing is GS related, you continue. Whatever strategy we told here, GS related, you can continue that 4 hours or 5 hours. That other, whatever 5 hours for optional is there, that is not for your notes making now. Please make sure that you join classes as quickly as possible and finish it. Same schedule only. But that is not 5 hours, whatever we had put, not for your revision of optional for you, to complete the optional classes for you.
So simple, this 5 hours, 3 hours will be the class, right? 3 hours.
Correct.
Half hour will be the revision of the class notes. Half hour for value addition from the standard books of for the optional, that is 4 hours. half hour for answer writing, and still you are having a half hour buffer. Exactly like this, from this time, if you do for another, from this period, August, if you are joining till December, still you are having 6 months, that is 180 days. 180 into 5 is 900 hours. 900 hours we personally feel will be sufficient for the optional, because 300 hours almost will be the classes. Still you will be having 600 class. In that 600 hours, you will be doing revision plus writing daily. Agar kiya, so by December you can get some good amount of command.
It's a challenging thing because if your optional has still not started, it's challenging. So if in case you are watching it from some videos or something, so like let's say online kind of thing, make sure that you try to complete it as quickly as possible. Because the more quickly you complete, at least you can focus on what? Revision of optional, some value addition, some writing. If you delay that a lot, then it's going to be little challenging. And so quick. Optional, if it's not completed, please be very quick.
Any other? How to read the reference book, especially like the spectrum, right? What else? Any? Tell all the 2 to 3 doubts so that together only we can take. Which month? Which month?
This year again.
Ah.
2026 batch 3.
Okay.
Yes, this will not work for you now.
Correct.
Because how will you give 11 hours for this revision now when your classes is going on?
9 hours classes hi chal raha hai, right? Hana? So one reference book. What else? So what are the other doubts?
Okay, how to evaluate antana?
Evaluation of answers.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, okay, for what she is asking is, sir, when we write answers every single day, how should we evaluate? How will we get to know that?
Okay.
So it's a little obviously what you have to do. There are a lot of PYQs related model answers are there. Obviously, or another most important, yeah, we forgot to mention that. Most important thing, my suggestion is, please make a very, very strong peer group. 2 to 3, maximum 4 people who, what do you call this? For example, serious candidates. Because peer group will help a lot. We have seen in our own personal experience also, even in other students' experiences also. If one of the person in the group clears, even clearing, forget about getting into the finalist, writing mains or getting interviews or something like that also, even other people in the group will get a lot of confidence. You might be good in GS2, someone else might be good in GS3. You might be good in essay, someone else might be weak in essay. It will help a lot. And obviously what will happen, human wise, it's not very easy to maintain that energy, that focus every single day. It's not possible, obviously, because it's all human things. Then at least if you are low today, your friend might help, or maybe some other motivation thing, he'll encourage you or something like that. Please maintain a peer group, unless you're like, no sir, I'm absolutely a person who will study very individually, isolatedly, then it's your wish. If you have done it from your childhood that way, it's absolutely fine. Or else, big groups are also very harmful. Like let's say 8 people, 10 people means Pakshala Chandra layout only. So 2, 3, 4 maximum serious group. No, this is very, very honest, serious suggestion. It will help a lot. Every time, whenever, if you go look at it, 2, 3, continuously they'll keep clearing prelims, they'll go write mains, they'll go get into the interview. One will get into the finalist, one will not, depending on so many factors like reservation issues, optional might have gone well, might not have gone well. Your optional, luckily that year it went well for you. For some others, some unfortunately it might not have, but everybody will have a very high chance that. So maintain very serious peer group, not very big. Very big is actually very harmful. 2, 3, maximum 4.
So what we'll do, sir? We'll take doubts पहला सब कुछ और उसके बाद एक साथ. One is reference. What are the doubts? What are they speaking?
Whether we'll have time to implement all this or we are already there.
That is what sir has told you.
Again telling you, for example, let's say your batch started in June, right? Yeah, so if you look at the time wise, it's a little challenging for you, because on an average, you ask those people who have already completed, it will take at least, you can say 8 to 10 months for basics to be completed. So by that time, it will be January, February, let's say. You can directly focus on prelims at that time. Then mains related, for example, for you people I'm telling, you can give prelims serious attempt, because by January everything will be done. Prelims related revision you can do. So then what about mains? For those people, for example, just to tell, like let's say this year also so many people who did not have mains related notes, but they had cleared prelims, 100, 105, there was a doctor person who scored 115 or something also in prelims. You are like your own batch, I don't know which batch of OGP, but he was from OGP. Two people at school, 105, 110, but they did not have means related notes. Optional they had because they had completed classes. GS they did not have. For those guys, what you can do, normally after prelims, within 1 week itself, we'll do these bridge courses. In 1 month, they have completed everything. Now they are revising, writing test series, they'll be writing mains also.
In short, this is very helpful for the students who have completed the foundation course.
Yes.
In short.
This session I'm telling, for you, you focus on your GS basics, focus on prelims next year. Once if you are clearing prelims 2026, then that 1 month itself will, whatever you do here, that 1 month you have to do at that time. It's a little challenging, but still you can do. There are a lot of people in the same, whatever these OGP people are there, they are giving mains now. And most of them have joined those classes because time is not there. See, here you can sit and write because you have time. Though those people, they can't sit and make notes now, because imagine how much time they have. How will they sit and make notes? When will they revise then? During that time, there are solutions for you. You forget about that. You focus on your GS related basic classes now.
Okay.
Those who have already completed GS, please you guys talk to, ask doubts now.
Yeah, any doubts? Doubts hai kya kuch?
Only ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಈಗ. What are you guys doing? What is your schedule? Okay, fine. Fine. Mostly it is mains related subjects which is pending. Correct. Day 1 in the revision start ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ you are asking. Okay. See, for example, normally even if the classes go on for you, one mains related class only will go on, right? Only one. That means at least you can say 7 hours or 8 hours will be pending. So in that pending time, you whatever this is there, 5 plus 5 plus 1, you make it as 3 plus 3 plus 1. Otherly, then in that you add all these things. For example, let us say, just as an example I'm telling, sir, internal security classes are going on for me in OGP. Obviously, you attend that. Anyhow, whatever you have to do here, notes making, that notes making you will take care there. Rest, whatever you have, apply that optional. Optional related, let's say it is done. Then what you do? Start revising your optional. Current affairs, add that. So automatically things will get down. Let's say, for example, internal security is done. Let's say social justice they had started. Attend those social justice mains related classes. Finish that. Revise your optional. Focus on current affairs. So you have to finish all of them.
So
CSAT, okay.
सर पहले मेंस का बात करते हैं फिर बाद में
CSAT. Yeah, it's a. See, the point is, okay, fine, we'll finish on, I'll keep that question in mind. First we'll discuss mains, then we'll come back to that CSAT issues.
So in mains, one of the students was asking about reference books. The question is whether we should read the reference books and how to read the reference books. The answer is very simple. Reference books is used for two major purposes. One is for the depth of the understanding, and second for the clarity. Depth, clarity, and bringing more dimensions to the answer. For these three things you read the reference books. Reference books are very much essential for the optional, 110%. Pakka. Now coming to something called as main, for the mains or prelims. For example, let us take any reference book, something called as Spectrum or Shankar IAS book for environment or anything. These reference books, when you have to read it, for example, if you are having class notes, and from the class notes you are able to, I was just speaking about the fundamental duties, from the exam fundamental duties are about climate change, about economy. If you are able to answer all the prelims ka question in that question bank of insights of all the last 1990 to 2025, if you are able to answer all the questions of the prelims from your notes, iska matlab notes is completely correct for the prelims. If you are able to answer from this notes something called as mains ka question, if answer is no, if you are not able to answer it from the that particular notes, then to fill up that gap, you have to come to the reference books, and then from that reference book, depending upon the demand of the question, the topic, the interlinked nature of the topic, depending upon that, you are going to read the reference books, and from there you are going to take the points, and then you are going to add the points. For example, I was speaking something about cyclone, right? So now you will be having one notes, geography ka, cyclone, pura detail mein. But in that cyclones, uske piche niche, you will not be having something called as color coding with respect to cyclones. Next is naming of the cyclones in Indian Ocean. These 2 points are missing. So for this, you have to use the reference. Now question here is, for reference, it can be a book, or it can be a chat GPT, or it can be a website. So depending upon this, whether to use a reference, yes or no is the answer. Is it clear? And this is how in depth, this much you should go. For example, in plate tectonics, they have asked something about mantle plume. Mantle plume NCERT में दिया ही नहीं है, लेकिन mains का question is there. So that means plate tectonics detail they are asking. So for that you have to go in detail in NCERT or any particular standard websites or ChatGPT. Are you understanding? So question is not basically reference book. Question is how to read the reference book, what to read in the reference book. That depends again upon the questions of the mains. I hope you understood. Any other doubts?
Answer rating parameter, how to evaluate it?
Uh-huh.
See, for example, let us say every single day you read. Her question is, sir, you told us to write every day half an hour for GS, every day half an hour for optional. How to get it evaluated? Obviously, as I told, I actually answered it. Let's say you have a 2 to 3 peer group. What do? You correct, you evaluate, you give your answer to her, you take her answer, you try to evaluate. Or else, obviously, another thing is what? Every 3 days or at least every week, obviously, whatever questions you have, so talk to your faculty, talk to your mentor. Please be in touch, regular touch with them. Go show them those answers and get it evaluated. Or else another one is what? If it is a PYQ, you have so many websites, so many model answers. You look at it, you will only get. Of course, you can't put the marks. Then what you do? Give it to your senior, give it to your peer group, go to the faculty, go to the mentor. So many options are there.
So one thing for this evaluation, what she asked, one thing now most of the students have missed and forgotten is that insights may, whatever the questions are asked, below that on the website, there is something called as comment section. In that comment section, you can add your own answer and the photo le lo, photo dal do. People will evaluate and basically they will try to give some comments. And also at the same time, the other people who are visiting the website will also read your answer. If they find something good or something value addition to it, they will also write it. So if you go back to the insights websites of 2015, 16, 14, there you will find lot of questions, secure questions, where people used to write lot of answers, upload, lot of answer, upload. So those answers which are uploaded will be seen by the insights also, one. Secondly, other people will also be seeing the answers, then they will also be commenting, हाँ ऐसा करना चाहिए था, वगैरह वगैरह. Getting the point. So that has really helped many of the aspirants. This thing also you can do it along with what sir told, that is meeting the faculty and the mentor.
Any other? Value addition for mains. That's what I see. For example, when you say value addition for mains, again you have to subdivide. Value addition for your GS, value addition for your optional. Value addition for GS, mostly it is what? Mostly it is your current affairs. So many issues, like for example, now you have electoral roll revision issue. Normally in your normal classes we don't discuss because it's in news now. So that's a value addition. Go add it to your in your current affairs notes, or if you already have mains related specific notes, you can add it there. Optional, normally what will happen, it is not so easy to discuss A to Z. Even if you take, let's say 300 hours for optional, means 100 hours, 100 classes, all those things, each and every issue is not so easy to discuss. And so many other current affairs issues will keep getting added. So then what you do, you look at the PYQ, you will only understand, okay, fine, my optional related class note will give me 70-80% of questions I am able to understand, at least understand the demand, I identify what is the content, but still some 10%, 20% is missing. That is your value addition. Based on your PYQ is one, based on your current affairs is another one.
Correct.
That will happen, that will keep happening every single time. Depending on your, for example, some optionals are there which are most, let's say Kannada literature optional. Largely no current affairs addition, nothing, because it's a static subject. But some other value addition might be there, that obviously based on your, if you discuss with subject faculty, they'll tell you for static subjects. Current affairs based subjects, obviously a lot of things will be there, you have to keep on adding to that. Yeah, so that is value addition wise. But don't fall behind too much of content. That's also a problem. If you fall behind only behind content, so remember content is the core part for mains, but it's not everything. Along with content, as we told, revision, keywords, substantiation, writing practice, presentation, organization, so time management, space, so many things will matter. Content is only the core part. Sir, I have content, but I don't have time management skill. What is the use? Same way, sir, I have very good handwriting skill, but I don't have content itself. That's also not an issue. That will also not give you marks. So both are equally important. Content is not everything. Content is like the foundation. Keep that in mind. Don't do PhDs on topics. That's very, very important. Stick to, okay, this is what they are asking in PYQ. Let me know broadly about that. That's it. Any other things? Okay, fine. So if you want to ask individually, that's also fine for you guys. So CSAT, obviously, all those issues.
I think we can take one more prelims guys. She is asking na prelims के लिए क्या करना है CSAT होगा or something else. For that also we can take one more session. मतलब
Or
after
maybe for CSAT specifically, what you have to, I mean, if in case anybody has CSAT issue, please go talk to Aditya sir or Shaman sir now itself. Because even when individually you guys meet also, I've told you multiple times, go sit with them for strategy. Sir, how should I approach from now on? Should I give every single day? It's like it's not so easy. Maybe every week, 1 day or 2 day. What is it? Please go talk to them. Those are the, like, let's say, because you know they are the faculties, they know better. Either Aditya sir or Shaman sir, please go talk to them, sit with them.
Why this is important, sir? I will tell you one reason. Yesterday, I met one of the student in bridge course. So she's from Uttarakhand. She's a BTech graduate from IIT, and right now she was working in JP Morgan. She could not clear CSAT, sir.
Yeah.
ये मैं फैक्ट बोल रहा हूँ yesterday का. She came. अब CSAT का क्या करो? सोचो BTech from IIT, correct? JP Morgan इतना टेक्निकल अच्छा है, तभी भी CSAT हो नहीं पा रहा है because that subject is taken for granted. It is not because of the intelligence.
Correct.
It is because of the taking it for granted. I asked the reason. She is like, I thought कि हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. UPSC में कुछ भी ऐसा ही नहीं होता है. You have to put the work because you are going to be a responsible person who is going to be a head of a district. Many of the things are depending on your hand, so you have to have that character also, right?
True, no doubt about it. By now you should have understood that even people with maths optional also fail in CSAT. Imagine
ये भी
they
हुआ
are
है.
rating for mains in maths optional, failing in CSAT. It's not because they don't have the what hold or content.
Correct.
Ego or what you got as taken for granted. So please don't take anything for granted in life, especially UPSC also.
So
okay, fine. Yeah, broadly, anything else you want to add, sir?
Nothing. So these were the basic things that we had to discuss with. I hope that everything was helpful to you guys. It will enlighten you with something what to do and what not to do, right? Don't make it complicated. Procedure सीधा है, and no one who have cleared the examination have stepped any of this particular step. You have to follow it either in 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Sustainable development goal achieve करते करते आना पड़ेगा वहां तक. But basically, you have to follow this procedure. It's better that you do it as soon as possible. And if you have any doubts, you can also talk with us and you can meet the mentors. I hope that it was helpful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.